You meet someone. They smile, they say their name, and 3 seconds later, it's gone. Just gone. You nod, you panic quietly, you pray nobody asks you to introduce them, and a small voice says, "What is wrong with me?" Here's what nobody tells you. When you forget a name the second you hear it, this isn't a flaw, and it isn't your memory failing. It usually means your attention was busy doing something far more interesting. Here's the thing, this isn't just you. Forgetting a name immediately after hearing it is one of the most universal human experiences there is. And there's a reason it happens, one that changes how you feel about it pretty quickly. Psychologists have a name for it, the Baker-Baker paradox. If someone tells you they're a baker, you remember it. If someone's name is Baker, you forget it. Same word. The difference? Baker, the job lights up a whole web in your brain. Bread, ovens, warmth. Baker, the name connects to nothing. A name is a bare label with no hook to hang on. So when you forget it, your brain didn't fail. It filtered while it was busy reading the person in front of you. Today we're looking at exactly what it was filtering for. And one of these things might genuinely surprise you. Point 1. Your memory isn't broken. It's just picky. Here's why that paradox works the way it does, and why it's not just about people named Baker. When you meet someone, your brain doesn't just store information. It builds connections. Every new piece of knowledge hooks into something you already know. That network is what makes a memory stick. Psychologists call this elaborative encoding. In plain English, your brain needs a reason to care. Baker, the job connects to dozens of things your brain already has waiting. Bread, flour, that warm smell from a Saturday market, a mental image of someone in a white apron. The memory slides in, anchors to the network, stays put. Baker, the name? No existing connections, no images, no feelings attached. It's an arbitrary label that could belong to absolutely anyone. Your brain looks at it, finds nowhere to put it, and lets it go. And this is true of almost all proper names. They don't come with meaning built in. They're just sounds. Holding on to them requires brute force memorization. And your brain, being the efficiency-obsessed system it is, doesn't love spending resources on things with no natural return. This isn't a memory problem unique to you. Names are among the hardest things the human brain is regularly asked to retain. The awkward moment at the party is completely predictable, scientifically even. Point 2. The problem starts before you even hear the name. Even if names were easy to store, the moment they arrive is absolutely terrible for memory. Think about what's actually happening when someone introduces themselves. You're processing their face, reading their body language, deciding somewhere in the background whether they feel safe or a bit odd. You're thinking about what to say next, managing your own impression, possibly still putting your phone away, and somewhere inside all of that, a name appears, spoken once, quickly, with zero emotional weight. Think of your working memory like a browser with too many tabs already open. During a social introduction, you've got about 14 things running, a video buffering in one, a system update you didn't ask for in another. One tab is entirely dedicated to figuring out what your hands are currently doing. One is running a 3-second loop of is this a normal amount of eye contact? And then the name tries to open one more tab. Something has to close. It's always the name. Psychologists have a specific name for the worst version of this. The next in-line effect. If you're about to introduce yourself in a group, your brain has already switched to rehearsal mode. It's quietly running your own script in the background. The person speaking right before you, what they said in those last few seconds. It often doesn't make it in, not because you weren't trying, because your brain was already somewhere else entirely. If this is landing for you, a subscribe keeps the club growing. A thumbs up helps more people find it. And if you've ever blanked completely on a name at the worst possible moment, drop it in the comments. It happens to everyone. It'll be cathartic. Point 3. Something far more interesting was happening. While a name was quietly slipping away, your brain wasn't idle. It was doing something far more sophisticated. It was reading the person. Researchers call it thin slicing. Within the first few seconds of meeting someone, your brain forms a rapid impression of who they are, their personality, their emotional state, whether they can be trusted. And it's surprisingly accurate, not from what they say, from micro cues, a flicker of tension around the eyes, a slight hesitation before they speak, whether a smile reaches the face or stops halfway there. This is real work. Complex, resource intensive, completely automatic. Your brain is running it with no conscious instruction from you. So while the name was evaporating, your brain was quietly asking, who is this person really? Are they curious or closed, comfortable or performing? Is there something underneath what they're saying? You remember they seemed nervous but kind. You remember they mentioned something once and their whole face changed. You remember the exact energy of the conversation 3 days later. The name? Gone. But the person? Completely present. And if that pattern sounds familiar, it might connect to something we've explored before on this channel. That quality of quiet, deep observation, reading people while appearing to say very little, it tends to show up in the same kinds of minds we covered before. The habits that perceptive people carry around, often without even realizing it. Point 4. Most of you, but not quite all. We've established that forgetting names quickly is normal and expected. It's honestly a bit of a backhanded compliment to your depth of processing. But there's one honest nuance worth including here. The pattern we're describing, forgetting a name within seconds of hearing it while remembering everything else about the person, that's typical. That's most people, under social pressure, every single day. We touched on something similar before. We explored why certain minds tend to process everything at a higher volume than most. There's a version of deep processing that's a genuine strength, and there's a version where the system starts to struggle under its own weight. Knowing which one is which is what matters. For the vast majority of people watching this, name forgetting is simply how human brains behave under social pressure. The wiring is working exactly as designed. Point 5. Here's what to do when you actually need the name. Sometimes you do want to hold on to one. A new colleague, someone important, someone you'll definitely see again and would strongly prefer not to stare at blankly from across the room. Good news. The same research that explains why you forget names also tells you exactly how to fix it. Remember elaborative encoding? Give the name a hook. As soon as you hear it, attach it to something you already know. If someone says their name is Marcus, picture a Marcus you're already familiar with, or notice something specific about them. Marcus has bright yellow trainers. Marcus tilts his head when he listens. The hook doesn't need to be logical, it just needs to exist. And then use the name once, early in the conversation. Just say it. Good to meet you, Marcus. That second exposure gives your brain another chance to encode it, and repetition helps, especially when the first attempt was interrupted by everything else happening in the room. 2 things. Give it a hook. Use it once. Small enough to actually do under social pressure, and it works. Your micro win for today. Next time you're introduced to someone you'd like to remember, try it. 1 vivid association. 1 early use of the name in conversation. See what happens. And if you've recognized yourself in this one, there's probably more that'll land for you on this channel, especially on the quieter, more perceptive end of the psychology spectrum. Worth a browse. Until next time, you're not bad with names. Your brain is just optimizing for what it finds more interesting. And in most cases, that happens to be the actual human being right in front of you. See you in the next one. Micro Wins Club. Small steps towards real change.